right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get started. I definitely appreciate your time today, and I definitely want to honor it. And I appreciate your time today on this Sunday afternoon. I am very excited to be sharing this information because, like I said before, we have, we talk about contracting and grants with our clients, but we don't do it too much for individuals who are not our clients. So I saw the opportunity in sharing this information after a podcast that I was blessed to be on. Miss Charity Smith, she is a phenomenal real estate mogul here in Houston, Texas, and I was just excited to be on there. And the question she was asking, it was all related to contracting and grants. And one thing I realized, like I said before, we share this information with clients, but not necessarily with non-clients. So today I'm going to take that opportunity and share. Now, a few housekeeping rules. I want you to feel free to participate on the terms of going to your chat and submitting any questions that you may have along the way. I like for this to be an interactive platform for us today. As well as, make sure that you have your volumes muted, okay, and use the chat so that we can keep it going. I did, when I was developing this presentation, I realized that there's so much information that I could share today that I wanted to share, but I had to kind of keep it short because I wanted to respect the time that you have today. So definitely feel free to ask questions in the chat, and then I'll make sure that I answer them to the best of my ability. If I am not able to answer a question, or if a question is kind of like a deep answer, I'll give you partial, and then I'll let you know to just get in touch with me and let me know what time is best for you for me to go into detail about that answer. So I'm very open to questions. So no question is a bad question. All right. I see we have someone in the chat. Hey, good afternoon, Mr. Lee. Good afternoon, Craig. How you doing? Thank you so much for your interaction. So yeah, so I just want to encourage that. I don't know. So I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I see some new people on here I don't recognize. So my name is Dr. Tyra Jones. I am the owner and operator of JA Consulting and Corporate Tax Solutions. We are a 15-year-old company. We specialize in corporate tax and anything that has to do with finances in regards to businesses. Our flagship service is business credit. Okay, and the reason why I say that is because business credit has been such a topic in our communities that really, most people thought it was a myth. I thought it was a myth, when I first started my business, because I was hearing about people telling me about adding trade lines. And I said, oh my gosh, that's illegal. You can't do that. I didn't know what I didn't know. Okay, so all the more reason why I'm very passionate to share this information with you today, because I don't want you to think what I thought when I first got started in business in 2001. So we've been offering business credit, this business credit program since 2013. And we've been just growing and growing and growing ever since. So with that being said, again, my background is in education. So like I said, I've always had an interactive class, and I've always had, fun in my classes. So I know today that we're going to have an interactive and engaged presentation. And so, like I said, feel free to ask any questions as we go along. All right. All right. Hello, everyone. Tampa, Enterprise of Tampa. Hello to you. All right. So we'll get started. So today we're talking about contracting and grants using business credit. Now, I don't know how many of you ever thought about using business credit to establish yourself to look good, for qualifying for contracts and or grants and winning them. So I don't know if you ever thought about that, but I'm going to put that on your mind today and give you a better understanding of how that looks and how to position your companies for that. All right, let's get right into it. All right, contracting. All right, the first thing that we want to establish here, like I was given in my background, you know, of who I am, and then I was talking about business credit. We have to understand what business credit is. Now, a lot of people, when I ask that question, I always ask that question before I give you the actual answer. So, so if you would, right quick, go ahead and put into the chat, what you think business credit is. And then we're gonna compare what you think it is right now versus what it actually is at the end. Okay, so if you can go ahead in the chat and just type a little bit. You don't have to type a paragraph, but just type in general what you think business credit is, and we'll get going with the actual definition.
I'm fat in all the right places.
All right, does everybody see the chat? Wonderful, wonderful. All right, VMP Enterprise of Tampa answered. Anyone else? All right, are we not? Do you see the chat? Does everybody see the chat? All right, well, let's go ahead. Because I want you really to be participative in this, because that's the best way for you to learn. Let's see, somebody has their volume. Okay, great. All right, so what you think it is versus what it is. Business credit is credit in a business name that's linked to the business's EIN. That is the most important aspect of business credit. That is not linked to your social security number. It is linked to your EIN. When billed correctly, the social security number isn't even suggested in the application, meaning there is no personal guarantee. And you'll see PG along as we go along. Even when you get into, Googling and just researching business credit, you'll see the acronym PG. That stands for personal guarantee. And you want to, when you're establishing business credit, you want to patronize companies or apply for credit that does not require a personal guarantee, because that's the whole point of establishing business credit, is to use your business credit, not have to use your personal, so you can give your personal a break, because, save your personal for personal things, but establish your business credit so that business credit can take care of your business. And so that's my main philosophy. So that's mainly what the goal of business credit is. I see we have some chat messages. A way to make connections for products linked to the business. I love that one, Veronica. I love that one, because a lot of people think that it's just credit cards. Oh, I went to Chase and I got a Chase Inc. business credit card, and you can get all these credit cards. You can get American Express. You can get all those credit cards, and none of them be reported on your business credit. And the reason is because it's unlike a personal credit. Business credit has to be established. You have to search for the companies and connect them with your business credit profile. And Craig says the ability to leverage credit to free up cash flow. Oh, absolutely. Oh, that's the main thing. That is the main thing. Cash flow, cash is king. So anytime you can free up your cash and still run your business and still purchase items that you need for your business, whether it's software, equipment, and things of that sort, and you still maintain your cash flow, that's when you know that you're on the right path. So thank you. I appreciate you for sharing those definitions. All right. All right, okay. It wouldn't advance. All right, so why should you establish business credit? Now, I don't know how many people on this on this Zoom right now have established business credit already, but I'm gonna give you a reason why you should. Okay, everyone on here has an entity, which is their own personal entity. Yourself. Okay, Tyra Jones is an entity. Okay, Michael Davis is an entity. Craig Lee is an entity. Vicky Patterson is an entity. All right. Now, it matters if you decide, okay, I'm going to take this entity and pour all of my gifts and talents and my insights into an entity that I'm going to create a corporation around. Okay. So then when you decide to do that, then that's when you should definitely say, okay, I know I have to finance my business to get started. However, how am I going to finance my business to grow? So establishing business credit would definitely help you do that. So in many ways, business credit is like personal credit. You need a strong personal credit to buy a house, apply for a credit card, and having a strong business credit profile may improve your company's chances for qualifying for business loans, contracts, grants, receiving interest rates, lower interest rates, and increasing cash flow. Just like what Craig said earlier, cash flow is king, I tell you. A few benefits of establishing business credit: future funding needs, acquisition of municipal or federal contracts, which is why we're here today talking about contracts and grants, equipment purchases, real estate purchases, and of course, cash flow management. Now, a lot of people want to build business credit quickly because, you know, we live in a popcorn society to where, you know, we want it fast, we want it quick. And I see a lot of business owners, they're asking questions, well, why is it taking me so long to establish business credit? Why is it taking me so long, this company so long to report to my business credit file? Why is it taking me so long to get a score? You know, well, you know, let's see, let me give you an example. Your personal credit. When was your personal credit established? Your personal credit was established the day you were born. They gave you a social security number the day you were born. Okay. Now, if you were born at home, you know, like, you know, my mother was, they didn't give it to you until you went up there and registered yourself as a citizen. Okay. Or your parents did rather. But if you were born in, you know, in recent years, you were born, you know, in a hospital where your paperwork and everything was already set for you. Your credit, your personal credit was established that day. Now, with your business, that's not the case. Everybody doesn't start a business, and definitely everybody who starts a business don't get corporations. So when you do file the LLC or file the S Corp or C Corp or whatever type, or nonprofit entity, whatever type of corporation you establish, your business credit does not automatically happen. You have to go in and pay an entity such as Dun & Brad to establish your business credit profile. Now, there are a lot of monitoring systems, and we'll talk about that in a minute, but building business credit quickly is I would say is an oxymoron. However, these are the 5 steps that you can do in order to get there quicker than most. Step 1, choose the right business structure. Now, a lot of people say, well, I can set up my LLC myself. I don't need to pay anybody to do that. But depending on the type of business you're in, depends on the type of structure that you need to have. So, there's some consultation that's needed there. And in a lot of cases here at JA, we have free consultations, and we talk to people about the best possible structure for them. All right. So, don't be afraid to ask questions, not only to us, but also to any other individual as to the right type of structure that you need for your business. And step 2, obtain a federal ID tax ID number. A lot of people come to us and they say, will you set up my corporation, set up my LLC? Well, I already have my EIN. Well, 10 times out of 10, you do not have the right type of EIN. You probably filed that EIN while you were a sole proprietor, and now you're getting a corporation. You have to get a EIN that's connected to your corporation and not to your personal. So that makes a huge difference in establishing your structure for your business. Now, step 3, open a business bank account. You should do that immediately after you get your EIN and your LLC structured. Step 4, establish credit with vendors, suppliers who report. Now, this is a key element. A lot of businesses, they patronize different companies because, they have to purchase items in order to, run their operations of their business. However, in most recent years, I make decisions based on whether that company is going to report positively to my business credit report, because they don't have to. You can be paying out overhead of thousands of dollars in your business, and none of those entities may report positively to your business credit report. And them not reporting at all is a negative report in my eyes, because if you're paying and you're paying consistently and on time and you're operating your business and you're not getting credit for that, then you're not leveraging from the money that you're spending in your business expense. So you definitely want to establish credit with vendors and suppliers who actually report to your business credit profile. And then number 5, monitor your business credit reports. That's pretty much what we do in our program. We help our business owners to monitor their business credit reports, just like you monitor your personal credit. Most people don't. Most people have no idea what's on their personal credit even right now. Well, it's important for you to know what's on your personal as well as your business. With NAV, you can actually, nav.com, N-A-V, you can actually monitor your business credit report and your personal credit report in the same system. So you definitely want to do that to make sure that you are doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing in building your business credit. Because like I said before, with business credit, it requires your participation in creating the scenarios in your profile. They don't automatically pop up just like in personal credit. All right. All right. Now, here are ways your business credit report is evaluated. Lenders use your credit reports to help determine approval and terms of financing. Okay. Suppliers and shipping companies decide whether they use your credit report to decide whether to grant a deferral of payment for goods and services. For example, if they say, well, giving you a credit card and you pay for it, you just put a credit number on file, credit card number on file, and they bill you 45 days later. Well, that's a net 45. Okay. So they make decisions by looking at your business credit report as to whether they're going to grant you a deferral of payment of goods and services. And then just, again, like I said before, just make sure they're going to report to your Dun & Brad when they do that. Customers use your credit reports to determine if your company is a legal entity and reputable. Most of the time, customers go to BBB, Better Business Bureau. They really don't know about business credit, just like most business owners don't know. So, it's kind of an iffy thing with them actually going there, but those savvy customers who know about it, they will go to your business credit report to determine if your business is a legal entity and is reputable. Lenders especially, I know our lenders, we work with over 14 different lenders, and our lenders look at your business credit when they're evaluating your loan terms, all right? Insurance companies use credit reports to help determine the price of your insurance policies. And then lastly, procurement officers use your credit report, your business credit report, to evaluate your ability to execute government contracts. And later, I'll show you where in that business credit report that is listed, where they put information on your report as to what type of entity you are in satisfying a contract. All right, now establishing business credit. What you should have versus what you should do. Now, to establish business credit, and we're going to end this section right here because now we're going to, leave this, establishing it. Now we're going to start talking about, monitoring it. All right, monitoring it and creating other parts of your business credit. What you should have is your LLC or S Corp or nonprofit corp, your EIN, your DUNS number, your business credit profile established to where you're ready for your first 4 trade references, right? And if you're not familiar with some of the terminology that I'm using, please write it down and ask questions because oh yeah, see, I saw a chat. I'm sorry. Yeah, so these terms are very important when you start talking to people about your business credit. All right. So your businesses, lenders reporting your credit information. Now, when businesses and lenders start reporting to your credit information, that's when you start getting into your tiers, and I'll show you what that means. When you get into your tiers, that's when contracts and grants, like contractors or prime contract, they really start looking at what tier you are in order to determine whether they're going to ask you to bid on a contract or award you a contract. Now, this is what you should do. Get a copy of your EIN if you don't have one already and keep it in a safe place. The reason why I say that is because most people think that, oh, if I have my EIN, I just need to write the number down and just, I don't need the paperwork. The paperwork tells you what taxes to file when you're ready to file for that entity. If you do not file your taxes on that entity based on what your EIN document says, your entity can be null and void according to the state. So you don't want that. All right. So you keep a copy so that you can reference it later. Verify whether you already have one with and I meant here to say a DUNS number. Verify whether you already have a DUNS number with DNB. Sometimes DNB will establish your DUNS number for you. Sometimes it depends. It depends on who you're doing business with. If you're doing business with an entity that actually checked your report and reports to Dun & Brad, then you'll probably have a DUNS number established for you. You just have to go on dnb.com to check. All right, and it's free to check. And lastly, what you should do is to ask lenders, suppliers, and consultants to report information about you, like I mentioned before. And then self-report financial and credit data as feasible. When I say self-report, like I said, you have to go into your profile and set up these structures so that you can upload your financial statements and other credit information. All right. Okay. So far we don't have any questions. Okay, I just want to remind you, go ahead and put those questions in because I don't mind pausing. All right. So establishing your business credibility. Now, how can I make my business look good? Right? We all want to do that. We're in a social media time to where, we post what would make us look good. We don't post what won't make us look good, right? So we do the same thing on our business pages. Well, establishing your business credibility has everything to do with your business looking good. Okay, it's just like social media. You would never take an ugly picture and that you think is ugly and post it on social media and just think that you're going to attract what you want, right? So the same thing here in your business credit. There are primary pieces of information about your business that tell the lender or creditor whether your structure is intact. They include, but are not limited to, the following. The first thing is your corporation filing, your EIN, your DUNS number. We just talked about that a little bit. The second thing is your commercial address. Okay, I have a question. All right, I'm going to answer it in a second. The second thing is your commercial address. Yes, it's okay to set up your entity using your personal address. No, it's not okay to continue using it you need to get a virtual address. A virtual address, you can go to www.regis.com. I absolutely love them because it's so easy. You can do it in like 10 minutes. And I think the cost is like $30 a month or something like that. They have others that are less expensive, but Regis is just one of my favorites, right? You can get an address. Let's say that I'm in Texas and I want to do business in Louisiana. I can get a commercial address for Louisiana through that company. And P.O. boxes do not count. P.O. boxes red flag and will get you denied for credit. Okay, make sure you understand that part. So I'm going to take a pause and answer this question. Is it a good thing to link your bank account? To NAV account? I would say no. I would say no. And the reason why I say no, I know NAV has that, feature, and they'll, they have these incentives as to doing that, but linking your bank account to NAV is kind of, unnecessary in a way. As long as you're paying that $29 a month for that boost, and so that they'll report to your business credit profile, you'll be okay. Linking your bank account, I know they have that incentive, but I do have a knowledge of people doing that and then changing it because it really wasn't worth it. All right. So it's optional, you could do that, but personally I wouldn't, and it's not because NAV, takes anything out or anything like that. It's just not, it doesn't add any value to your business credit in the long run. Okay. So that's a great question. All right. So number 4, business email tied to your business domain. If you're using the Yahoo, Gmail, Hotmail, AOL, any of those type of emails for your business, and you're putting them on vendor applications, or you're trying to apply for contracts and you're putting those on the contract application, I would need you to go ahead and get a business email that's tied to your domain. For example, our website is www.jonescorporatesolutions.net. And our email is info@jonescorporatesolutions.net. We do not have a Gmail, Hotmail, and all of that. So you want to make sure you can do that. It's not expensive to establish that. You can go to google.com and Google email, Gmail email, commercial email for Google. And I think it costs maybe about $10 a month to establish your domain. Maybe $20 to establish the domain, and $10 a month to keep your email that's connected to that domain. So it's not very expensive to do that. Business domain and website, of course, I kind of blended that in with number 4. And then number 6, business bank account at least 4 months old for some lenders. All right. Now, and I say that for number 6, and like I said before, get your business bank account as soon as you get your LLC, your corporation, your nonprofit entity, whatever it is. As soon as you get your state designation and your EIN, run to the bank and go get a bank account, because you want that track record of having an established business bank account. Because when you start applying for cash loans, right? When you start applying for those, they're going to look at your bank account to see how old your bank account is. Everything in business is about age. They want you to be established. They want you to be aged. They want you to have done certain things over a longer period of time. So you want to make sure you get your business bank account as soon as you can, as soon as you set up your corporation. Keep it in the name of your business, because lenders for lines of credit, they will not deposit money into your bank account, including the government, even with the stimulus. They will not deposit funds into your bank account if it is not a business bank account. If it's not linked to the EIN that you're applying, on the application with. All right. So just make sure you do that. So these are 6 very important things to pay attention to when you're establishing your business credibility. Once you have these items down, the rest is kind of downhill, because these are the main non-traditional pieces of data that a creditor looks at to determine whether you have put the proper investment into your company. okay? Because if you haven't invested this much into your company, they're not going to want to invest hundreds of thousands of dollars that you're applying for, or $10,000 that you're applying for, 20,000. They're not going to invest that if you want to invest this. So just keep that in mind. All right, next slide, next slide. All right, so step 2, what is a tier? Now, I don't know if you've ever heard of tiers. There are actually 8 tiers, but we're going to talk about 4. We're going to talk about 4 tiers in business credit. Now, if you Google the word tiers, multiple things are going to come up in different industries, or even in the same industry, just related to different things. They use the word tier when they're talking about personal credit as well as business credit. So, of course, we're talking about business credit, right? Now, tiers are levels of credit building. In business credit, tiers relate to the level of funding you are qualified to receive. Also, it refers to the types of accounts you have established. So, once you establish your account on Dun & Brad or Credit Safe or whatever platform that you're using to put your trade references on, once you do that, you start being categorized as a certain tier. Now, types of accounts to put as trade references or operating expenses, that's the first type of account. And a lot of people miss this because the first thing they're doing, people are telling them, oh, go to, get an account with Uline, get an account with Granger, get an account with Quill. Yes, you do need to get an account with those entities. However, what are you right now paying for in your business that we can put as a trade reference? For example, do you have a CPA? Let's connect that to, and you're paying that CPA. As long as you pay that individual to do something for you and your business within the last 12 months, you can put them as a trade reference, okay? And I totally advise you to do that because it'll take you that much shorter amount of time to establish your business credit so that you can hurry up and kind of get to the cash loans, because that's what everybody wants, the cash loans, right? So the number one thing when you are establishing types of account or operating expenses such as your software, if you're a company like mine, we're virtual, and then, we also, we've had offices. So we have software, right? So we're paying every month for this CRM. We're paying every month for AirCall, when we use our telephone systems. We're paying every month for a lot of different things that are softwares, where these companies also report to our business credit. And a lot of companies don't normally do it, and they may not know what you're talking about, but that's your opportunity to teach them. Because if they want to continue to receive your funds every month, then you can kind of finagle them and get them to report to your Dun & Brad. Our CRM actually it was very hard for our CRM to connect, and then they forwarded us the email that Dun & Brad sent them, and we just went ahead and filled it out for them. And so, so some companies have their policies, but there are ways to kind of get around it if you really, kind of push for it. So operating expenses are very, very, very important to put first. The second thing are net 20, 30, 10, 20, and 30 accounts. And we'll talk about what those mean. Number 3, cash credit accounts, such as your credit cards, credit cards for, like I said, Chase credit card, American Express credit cards that you can go and purchase in any store, okay? Number 4, lines of credit. Now, lines of credit are different from cash credit accounts. Lines of credit there are different types of lines of credit. You may get a line of credit of $100,000 and and the terms may be that you won't get charged interest until you pull from that. So let's say that, 1 month I need to buy equipment for my business, and I need to pull $10,000 to purchase that equipment. Well, I'm only going to pay, but I have $100,000 line of credit. I'm only going to get charged interest on the $10,000 that I pull. But that line of credit looks great on my business credit portfolio because that tells another lender that I am credit worthy because this other person gave me $100,000 line of credit. Okay, so it's very, very good to have those. And then there are lines of credit where the lender actually deposits the cash into your account. Now, these lines of credit are not like grants. You can spend them however you need to spend them in your business. They don't have to specifically go to a specific area of your business, okay? And a lot of times, you know, in the applications, we just put, you know, when I'm working with our lenders, we just put that, you know, this is for business expense, period. We don't go into detail, all right? Number 5, revolving accounts. You know, like cars, you know, vehicles, you know, equipment and things of that sort. 6, installment accounts, you know, also such as vehicles. Some type of vehicles are installment accounts. Now, revolving, you know, kind of like your credit cards, but more so kind of like maybe a deer. Like, let's say that I have a construction company and I need to lease a deer piece of equipment, or I purchase and finance. So it can either be a revolving or an installment, depending on how I make the purchase. Okay, but these 6 types of tiers of accounts are suggested for you to go after when you're talking about establishing your tiers. All right, now I mentioned about net 30 vendors. Net 30 vendors, and I'm gonna tell you what they are real quick. Net 30 accounts are accounts that extend you 30 days to pay the bill in full after you have purchased product. For example, we have a one of my favorite recently, because, you know, we're, like I said, we're software you know, focused right now, is business. No, that's not the one. Well, Business T-shirt Club is one, but Summa Office Supplies, I absolutely adore them. However, I do have some bad news for Summa. Summa just stopped reporting to business credit, which is, you know, which is a big challenge. But anyway, so like those companies who actually have software that you need right now for your business, you can purchase them on a net 30 terms, which means that you don't have to pay anything, any cash. This is how you're saving on your cash flow. You don't have to pay any cash right now until 30 days later, then you make the payment. So if I purchase something for $75, a software that costs $75, you know, and that's wholesale, then I don't have to pay that until 30 days later. 30 days later, I'm already making money within those 30 days from using that particular software, which is really the point. That's the whole point of net 30, net 45, or whatever net it is so that you can purchase items on credit and pay later. You know, it's kind of like that Popeye. I don't know if, you know, y'all used to watch Popeye. I'm kind of, you know, dating myself here, but I used to watch Popeye. And I remember the burger guy, and he would always say, you know, I give you a quarter tomorrow for a burger today. Well, that's pretty much what this is. I don't know why that just popped in my head, but I love that aspect, that cartoon. But net 30 accounts allow you to buy now and pay later, basically. Now here on the right, I have that NAV is the only source for both personal and business credit. Now, they are not the only one. Credit Safe, I think Credit Safe does it as well. But there's another company. Yeah, there's another company that does it to where you can see your personal credit as well as your business credit. They are monitoring systems only, okay? Now, if you want them to be a vendor, you do have to pay. Just remember this. Whatever you want, when you want a company to be on your business credit report, you have to make a deal with them to pay them something. We had a client, and it's unfortunate, you know, she purchased our program. We were getting started. She didn't feel that she needed to pay for the equipment and the products and services that she needed to purchase in order to get these companies to report to her Dun & Brad. So for example, if she had to pay Quill $70 for some packing supplies, she wanted us to pay for that. Okay, we don't pay for your equipment, for your bills, for your business. Rather, you have to spend money, to make money. That's the cliche, but you do have to spend that money in order for them to report. The beauty of it all is that some of these companies are net 30. Okay, a lot of these companies are net 30, net 45. So you don't have to spend your cash flow right away. But unfortunately, like I said, that young lady, she was in her early 20s. She was very young. However, it's unfortunate that, that she just didn't understand and didn't take the time to dive into the program to understand what a net 30 company is about, and also what business credit is. So that's why I believe that education is very important, but you have to position yourself to be taught, as opposed to having this cognitive dissonance and thinking that you're going to go off for things that you already know, and be too fearful of the unknown. Okay, so definitely want to encourage you to position yourself to learn. All right, so let's talk about tier ones. Tier ones, now in order to be a tier one, you have operating expenses such as business leases, business utilities, business phones, CRM, LSM. LSM is a learning management system if you have more of an education platform for your business. Other operational softwares, consultants, web developers. If you pay any of these type of people to do anything for your business, make sure they're reporting. Once they report, once you put them on your trade reference, then you are a tier one. Once you have at least 2 or 3 of those reporting, then you become a tier 2. Okay, but I have here tier 2 levels require that you have 4 trade references. Now that's across the board, but from experience, I know that it requires 3. All right, because I know when they give you a credit score, a paydex score of 80, that's how they start you off. And by the way, if I didn't mention, business credit is on a scale of 0 to 100. So a paydex score of 80 is like having a 720 or 800 personal credit score. Okay, so I wanted to give you that reference as well. Now for tier 2, these are some tier 2 accounts that you can go after. Once you become, like in our program, once you become a tier 2 or a tier 3, whatever tier that you are at, as soon as, excuse me, as soon as you are at that level, we'll send you a message in your client portal that says, congratulations, you're at a tier 2. Go ahead and apply for these, and we'll give it a link to apply for some of those companies. All right. Suppliers, creditors account, tier 3 and tier 4. These are the companies these are just some companies that we encourage you to apply for when you're at a tier 3 or a tier 4. Now, like I said, the tiers depend on how many trade references are actually confirmed and reporting to your business credit. So the first part of each section where it says tier 3 level requires that you have 6 trade references. Tier 4 level requires that you have 8 trade references. So those are the differences. So pay attention to that. Those are the differences in the tiers. And then of course, tier 5 and tier 6. Tier 5 requires 12 trade references, and these are some of the companies we go after at tier 5. Now, you may see some companies duplicated from different tiers. That's because they have different credit cards, okay, or credit. They have different lines of credit. So, for example, you can go to Sam's, apply for a credit card or business credit card, get approved, but they also have another type. They have 2 different types of business credit cards. Okay, so that's why you see some companies are repeated within the tiers. You know, like in tier 2, there may be the same company, and then you may see the same company back in the tier 5. It's because it's a different type of account. All right. And so, like I said, tier 6, you have to have 20 trade references reporting. All right. So building your business credit history. Business credit is a track record of a business's financial responsibility that companies, investors, or financial organizations use to determine whether the business is a good candidate to lend money or do business with. Now, I want you to think about this. In the next year, and I want you to participate. This is your opportunity to participate. So go ahead and find the button for the chat and get ready to type your answer. And I don't know if you know this yet, but you can send your messages directly to me, or you can send them to everyone. So it's up to you. All right, it's up to you. So if you don't want everybody to see your response, you can submit it to where it directly goes to me. And if you don't mind, then you could just send it to everyone. All right. So the question is, in the next year, how do you think having a healthy business credit report could help your business? And the next question, okay, there's a couple. What about the next 5 years? How do you think having a healthy business credit report could help your business in 5 years? Now, I know as I'm talking and as I'm going through things, you're thinking about some things that you want to do within the next, even before December in your business. Now, I want you to be specific about what you're answering in this question. How do you think that having a healthy business credit, what is it going to be able to do? Is it going to be able to help you to purchase some equipment that you need to purchase like right now, right? In order to service your clients? Is it going to be able to establish, cash flow for you? All right. So I want you to be specific. And then while you're doing that, let's talk about goals, habits, and your strategy. Now, I want you to keep typing. I'm going to keep talking, but I want you to keep typing because I'm looking at the, I see one person responded, and I'll take a look at that response in a second. But I want to see a couple more people respond before I check the answers. So let's talk about your goals, habits, and strategy. Now, you set a goal for your business. Like I just said, how do you think having a healthy, strong, a healthy business credit report could help your business? You have already set goals. You have already set goals for before December. I want to accomplish XYZ before December, right? You've already set that goal. Now, how are you going to get to that goal? How you get to that goal has everything to do with you. It doesn't have anything to do with anybody else that you pay to help you get there. Because a lot of people ask me, when before purchasing our program, what is your success rate? They ask me that. And then, depending on who I'm talking to, depending on the energy that I feel from them, I may say, well, what is your success rate? Because your success rate depends on my success rate. And the reason why I say that is because we can set goals all day long, but there are certain habits that you have that have stopped you from reaching certain goals. It has nothing to do with access or education sometimes, but it has everything to do with those habits. And sometimes we have bad habits. We have bad spending habits. We have bad management habits. Whatever those habits are, it makes a difference into whether you actually accomplish your goal. So it's not about our success rate. And if I were to answer that question, our success rate is 100%. You know why I can say that? It's because we dive in with you. We never leave you. We never leave you. So our habit is that, okay, we're going to dive in and we're never going to leave you, but everybody has their own goals. You may come in and say, I have a goal. I just want to establish a $50,000 portfolio. Great. We can help you do that. I want to establish a $250,000 portfolio. Great. We can help you with that. So once we accomplish your goal, we're successful. So my question to you, the only reason why we won't, get to that goal is it will be on you. So you have to pay attention to the habits that you have, even the positive habits. What good habits do you have right now that will help you to establish a healthy business credit report or even a healthy personal credit report. Strategy. Now, you cannot get to strategy if you don't address goals and your habits, your bad and good habits. So on a piece of paper, you should put what your bad habits are, what your good habits are, and don't act like you don't know what your bad habits are, because everybody knows what their bad habits are. Once you establish that, and once you address it, okay, then you can create a strategy as to how you're going to actually get to where you're trying to go. All right. So that's the part I love that part, because it's accountability. You have to be accountable for everything that you set out to do in your business. Now, let me read some of the questions. The answers. Okay. Get loans. Business report. Business growth. No, I said business report. Business growth. It'll help me get all the required materials and equipment. Absolutely. Get loans and establish credibility, auto loans, business location, employees, diverse employees, advertising, establish specific goals. Oh yeah, you got it, Michael. You got it. You got it. Absolutely. That it'll help you with all of that. I'm so glad you see that. More access to grants, contracts, and loans. Yes. Yes, Latoya. Absolutely. More, and we're going to talk about that. It will allow me to assist more customers in a timely manner. Absolutely. I'm telling you, having business credit, thank you guys for participating. Having business credit will give you so much leverage that your customer service increases. A lot of people, they base your success off of your customer service, and then sometimes it's not really your customer service, it's whether or not they actually like you, right? So, you may have worn your hair the way that they didn't like it that day, and all of a sudden they don't like you anymore. So you want to establish your credibility, because I promise you that would definitely help you to be more systematic so that you can service more clients. We have one more chat answer. Good habits, tenacity, specific established habit patterns, negativity, weak belief is ability to succeed. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Good habits foster success. Good habits foster success. But guess what? If we didn't have those bad habits and learn from them, that can also foster success. Because, don't be afraid to be imperfect. But be afraid to not overcome that imperfection. It's like, yeah, I messed up here, but this is what I did to fix it. So absolutely, absolutely. Thank you for that. All right, let's go further. How to get contracts using your business credit. Now, let's get into the meat and potatoes of why we're here. Learn how commercial credit reporting agencies score your credit, right? So yes, commercial reporting agencies do score your credit. Now, they actually, commercial credit reporting agencies access information from a number of sources to determine your business credit worthiness. This includes official sources such as your initial business registration with your state, right? Now, for DBAs, if you're a DBA, you miss out from the very beginning, because they're looking at your business registration with your state, which is your LLC with your state that you are actually operating in. Okay, that's the first thing they look at. So you want to get contracts, you want to get grants, they look at your initial business registration with your state. That's the first thing. Everybody knows about underwriting, but underwriting is kind of like the boogeyman sometimes, because it's like they're invisible because you never see them, but they're there because they'll approve or deny you. Well, the first thing they look up is your business registration with your state when you make an application. Lawsuits, they look for lawsuits, liens, judgments involving your business. And believe it or not, all of this information is on your business credit report. All of it is. Bankruptcies, filings, that's on your business credit report. corporate financial reports, if available. Like I said, your financial statements and things of that sort, that's on your credit report. Uniform commercial codes, UCC filings, that's also on your business credit report. Payment history from suppliers, vendors, and other creditors. And then I have highlighted federal government contracts, grants, loans, or debarments. All of that, all of these items are on your business credit report. And this is how commercial credit reporting agencies, this is what they use to score your credit. So in order to have good scores, because there are 14 different scores on your business credit, in order to have good scores, you have to have these items in good standing, okay? Now, to maintain and impact your cash flow. To maintain cash flow, depending on the type of work you do, your main focus may be on hiring technical staff and building relationships with government agencies and subcontractors. This, plus the work of submitting bids and proposals, may be specific areas of focus for you, allowing you to narrow down your spending to where it truly impacts your business cash flow. This allows you to spend money that actually impacts. For example, you may pay for, some items that you need, some equipment or supplies that you need, and depending on that equipment or supply, you may not see the return on that investment until 6 months from now. Okay, we're talking about maintaining your cash flow now, not six months from now. This would allow you to narrow down your spending so that if I make a purchase today, that whatever I just purchased today and I used my cash for, I'm going to see a return on that investment within the next 15 to 30 days. Okay, so that's what you want to do in being able to maintain and impact your cash flow using business credit. 3 steps to contracting. Number 1, the first thing you need to do your research. Second thing, consider getting certified. Now, you do not have to be certified as a minority-owned business or disadvantaged business or a woman-owned business certification. You don't have to be certified in order to get contracts. However, it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. You don't need to have it, again, but if someone is looking at you to provide services for, let's say, a municipality, a city, or even a local corporation who has a city contract, and now they have to subcontract people, and your name is on the list, but you're not certified, but this other company who provides the same service is certified, that X's you out of the game. So consider getting yourself certified. Number 3, and consider building your business credit, okay? Because that's what they're looking at. When they look at your application, they're not just looking at this application and evaluating you based on what you put down. They're looking at your application. They're looking at your DUNS number. They type in your DUNS number in the system of Dun & Brad or Credit Safe, whichever platform they're using, and they look at what other people are saying. Your application you submit is what you say about your business. They look at platforms where other people are saying things about your business, okay? Does your business have what the government is looking for? Number 1, for contracting. Also for grants. It's easier to determine that because, for grants, because you have all the guidelines, you have all the stipulations as to, this is the type of community work that we're going to fund. If you're an organization that provides XYZ service and you also, kind of meet the mission and the vision of the overall goal of that funding source, then, okay, yeah, you're a contender. But contracts are similar. They give you the RFQ, RFP. They give you the guidelines and things of that sort. However, does your business have what the government is looking for is the question. Now, in order to determine that, you need to do some research. The first thing you ask yourself, does your business have what the government is looking for? Is any other business currently supplying the same product or service to the government? How can your business outshine them? Maybe you can offer lower costs. I typically don't go with lower costs unless it's like nationally in, a national industry standard. You may be able to play around with costs a little bit, but it'll be better to kind of outdo in service, in that aspect, and being able to provide more as opposed to lowering your costs. Because, and the reason why I say, let me stop right there. The reason why I say that is because I've seen, I have a client I brought on like maybe 2 or 3 years ago when we were in our Cypress office. And he is not certified. He is a traffic control client, traffic control industry client, not certified, don't have any certification, but he gets contracts. How he gets those contracts is through relationship. Is that duplicatable in your business? Probably not, because he's able to establish different types of relationship for whatever circles that he flows in. But also what I learned is that he bid it on the 290 expansion years ago. He did not get that bid, and his bid was lower and more reasonable. The entity that got the bid had a higher bid. So it wasn't about cost. It was about producing. It was about his reputation. It was about what he had established in his credibility portfolio. That's what it was about. So like I said, the reason why I stopped there, because don't always lower your costs and think that you're going to be competitive enough to get awarded the grant or get awarded the contract, because that's not always the case. All right. So faster turnarounds, you have faster turnarounds. Now that's better. If you have a faster turnaround as far as providing your services or whatever, or providing the products that you're supposed to supply for this particular contract, that's always great. Superior quality, or maybe you have strong business credit and more reliability. If you don't do your research, though, you may easily miss out on landing a contract because you weren't prepared to sell your business well. Business credit is all about selling your business. What is what is your business credibility? Like I said, you wouldn't take a picture that you felt was ugly. Like I've taken a lot of pictures. I was like, oh goodness, who is that? And then I've taken some pictures like, oh my gosh, I look like some people in my family. I don't want to put that one out there. But let's say that you put all of those weird looking pictures that you've taken, those selfies you've taken, you put it out there on social media. That's what you're doing when you are not taking care of managing the profile of your business in business credit. You're kind of taking a chance at somebody liking what they see when they don't really see anything of value. Okay, so you want to put your best foot forward in making sure that number one, is business credit the only way to get grants? No. I mean, or even contracts. No, it's not. It's not the only way. It's our way because we're good at showing people how to do it. Now, like I said, that my client, he didn't get that contract for the expansion of 290, but who knows? Maybe if he had his business credit established. I know he didn't, but because he didn't even know a lot about it. He never was a part of our program. We managed his payroll and all of that kind of stuff, but he never did the business credit. So I don't know. Maybe he could have, gotten that contract and many other contracts. So, if you want to play Russian roulette with your business, you can play Russian roulette. But if you want to position your business for any opportunity that's out there, you definitely want to take a look at your business credit structuring. You should also consider talking to a lawyer about common compliance issues in order to help keep your business safe. Now, all of our clients, we always set them up with a company called Legalshield for their business. Legalshield is one of the most phenomenal companies that I've been working with over the last 16 years, right? We've had our services for over 16 years. But they are A-rated attorneys in every state. It doesn't matter. Most of our clients are on the East Coast. Okay, we have very few clients in the state of Texas. Most of our clients are on the East Coast, and some in the Midwest. But regardless of where our clients are, they have attorneys in their particular state that are A-rated law firms, not just attorneys, law firms. So you'll be able to call and get a real estate attorney. If you need a real estate attorney, you can call and get a business structure, a tax attorney. Any type of attorney that you need, you can give them a call. All right. So register. Our next step, register your business and seek certifications to compete. Contracts and grants are all about competition, right? Sometimes we know how to compete, sometimes we don't. Sometimes we think marketing is all about the marketing. It's all about the marketing. Yeah, you can market your business and think that you're going to get all these kind of contracts. You can have the best logo, you can have the best SEO rating, you can have all of that. But then when they start looking at your business structure and then they start deciding whether or not they want to award you a contract and you don't have really business credit established, well, that's the chance you take. The federal government may have different funding goals and compliance requirements that some state or local agencies different compliance requirements than some state or local agencies. Therefore, the qualification process for federal grants is often more complex and the requirement more stringent, which is why we typically go with corporations. We typically go with corporations, rather than going directly for the federal government contracts and grants. With that being said, by the time, like, let's say that you go after the local corporation contracts, when the federal government looks at your business credit profile or your contract track record, and they see that you have actually satisfied a contract and you have a positive rating on that, it is very likely for you to get a federal contract or a federal grant. Everybody wants federal grants and contracts because they come in such large amounts. But to position yourself for those federal contracts and grants is very important that you understand business credit and understand the certifications and understand what they're looking for. The second bullet point, you will often need a DUNS number to bid. Anytime you put in a bid, well, I won't say anytime, sometimes. When you put in a bid, most of the time, I would say 80% of the time when you put in a bid, they ask for your DUNS number. You ever want to know why? Same reason why other companies ask for your social security number when you're filling out a credit application or when you're filling out a job application. They ask for your social security number because they're looking you up, right? So they ask for your DUNS number for a reason. Also, you must have a SAMS account. If you don't know what a SAMS account is, I have it here. It's basically a system where you register to receive government contracts. Getting a SAMS number is free. Okay, so you can Google SAM registration procurement. Kind of use those keywords, and you'll be able to look that up. You must comply with the Federal Acquisition Regulations, FAR. External websites opens new, this external website opens a new window. So I put that there so that you will know that when you go to FAR, you Google that, their external site opens up to a different window, and then that's when you'll see the details of FAR. All right. Another thing to note is that you may experience increased competition compared to state or local contracting. Federal contracting opportunities often attract a larger pool of qualified applicants. Federal contracts will attract more people. So, just understand that when you're going for federal contracts, you're in a bigger pool than you were at the city level. All right. All right. So here I have a number of those certifications that I was talking about: women-owned business, national minority, supplier diversity, the Small Business Administration, all of those. Now, Hubzone is very is very easy. It's very easy to obtain. It's just a $70 payment, and you have your certification, right? So look into those and make sure that you are positioning yourself for these contracts and grants. Now, what's the business credit connection to contracts and grants? I think I've already been explaining that, but I'll reiterate: get a DUNS number and start building business credit. Get a DUNS number and start business. I can't even say that enough. Getting a DUNS number is the first step in building your business credit. Not only do some federal agencies require you to have one to do business with them, but having a business credit profile can assist you with getting work from state and local agencies, as well as prime contractors. Any contracting with you will want to know. Contractor will want to know that your business is in good health and that you will be able to deliver a project to fruition. All right. If you're screenshotting, definitely screenshot this page, because this is basically why we're here, talking about grants and contracts, right? This is basically why we're here. Business credit will help you to establish your credibility, because like I said, once they look you up and they don't see anything, they don't see a paydebt score, and everything will say unavailable. They don't see a paydebt score, they don't see a feasibility score, they don't see any of those things, then you're taking the risk in not getting that contract. The business credit connection: when submitting bids, all of the business information is evaluated, especially your business credit profile. Now, this is a profile of one of our clients, and he just started, but we have, I circled this and I put a little smiley face because I was excited to see this, this update. Okay. And this is the business credit report. This is, I think the report is like maybe 13 pages long. Possible candidate: this individual is a possible candidate for socioeconomic program consideration. All right, an AA firm, yes, yes. Labor surplus, yes, yes. These items are important. Now, it's cut off here, but you see how it goes into the financials, and then upper is about management. We're not there yet. Like I said, he's just getting started. But I wanted to show this to you to show you that this is actually on your business credit report. So when companies or municipalities pull your report using your DUNS number that you put on your application, they're looking for information like this. And your business credit profile tells them whether or not to consider you for a particular contract. Okay. Now, I don't think I have it in here, but I want to give you this. And if you're taking notes, write this down. Your NAICS code is one of the most important pieces of information on your business credit application, as well as your business credit profile. Your NAICS code, as well as your SIC code. Those codes tell the vendor or the entity what industry you are in. Some industries are red flagged, meaning some industries are suggested as to not to do business with the government because of the nature of your business. It's important that you are coded correctly, because if you're coded wrong, that may very well tell a vendor not to do business with you. It's very tedious, and I promise you, it's not as simple as saying, oh, well, I provide business credit, so I'm in the finance industry. No, I'm not. We're not in the finance industry, because you have to keep reading the details, right? So just make sure that you understand NAICS coding and SIC coding, because that makes a difference. Now, in our program, in our business credit program, we have an educational platform for our program. All the more reason why we do these type of events, right? We have an educational platform. So in our program, we want you to learn how to manage how to structure and how to manage your business credit portfolio, because we may or may not be with you for the long haul, right? You may be with us for a year and decide, you know what, I have it, I got it, I can do it. And in some cases, we have actually partnered with entities, their CPA, to teach them how to help their business owner to manage this business credit portfolio. We don't mind. We help them to learn how to manage it, because the guarantee is that they're going to learn it, they're going to maintain it, and their business is going to flourish after taking part of our program. And that's the overall goal. So how lenders evaluate your credit worthiness, that's what you will learn. How to build the business credit history, how to read your business credit report, how to keep your entity structured to ensure approvals. In our program, we will build a portfolio valued at a desired dollar amount, add trade references that will increase your business credit scores, design a procurement strategy to obtain contracts, and then lastly, use our lenders to fund your portfolio. Yes, we do have lenders. As I mentioned before, we have 14 different lenders that we work with. Now we have 15. I actually, we acquired another one. We have 15 different lenders now to fund your portfolio. So this is pretty much what we do in our program. And the way our program looks, once you become once you come into our program, once you come into our program and you are at a tier 2, this is for tier 2 clients only, because once you come into the program and we're coaching you on a weekly basis before you get to a tier 2. When you get to a tier 2, this is when you are a part of our online system. That way you are self-paced, you're on autopilot, and you understand how we structured you in the beginning, and you understand how to continue. Good question. Jaeger says, where do I go to get the NAICS? Okay, Google NAIC as in cat, CS, Google NAICS code. Okay, it should pull up various links, but you should look for the link that actually has the online PDF book. Pull up that one, and it's not SIP, it's SIC as in cat. Okay, SIC as in cat. All right. Okay. All right. So our portal looks like this. So once you become a tier 2, you would get an email. You would get a message in your portal saying, "Hey, congratulations, you're at a tier 2, blah blah blah. Now you're going to be, have access to the online training." And this is a sample. We have, a client here, Malik. Okay, in your email, this is what it's going to look like. Hey, hello, Malik, and that's too small for me to read, so I won't even try. So, and then you go into and you create your password and username. The next step you see here, you see your desk, you see your dashboard. And then if you click that Let's Go button, it'll take you into what's on the right side, okay? On the right side, we have our business credit structuring. And let me reference this logo. This logo, this Right Now Solutions, this is our educational trademark platform logo. So that's why you see that instead of our JA consultant. This is under our education portion is under a different trademark, Right Now Solutions. All right, so I wanted to just share that with you because I know that's not our logo. Well, that is our logo, but it's not the JA logo. All right, so on the right side, we have all of the modules that are embedded into our program. So the first module, Business Credit for You Guide, which is free on our website. So if you haven't been to our website yet, we have a free guide that you can download and you can use to get started, okay? But after that part, then we have a lot of other modules, as you can see under that. And then you also have a training portal progress bar that's at the top. And this is like a screenshot of one of the modules. And if you can see there, we also have video. We also have video of me training, video of some of our other experts training in terms of, you know, business credit structure, in terms of contract, in terms of grants, in terms of, you know, everything that has to do with business credit, and making sure that you leave our program with what you came for. Okay, whether that's $50,000, $250,000, or whatever your amount was. All right. So the progress bar will let you know what your progress is. And then, of course, like I mentioned before, we have weekly coaching follow-up calls. I put this basketball on here because I love basketball, anybody who knows me. But one thing we always want to reiterate is that our coaching calls require your participation as well as our participation. So, you know, coaching is all about, you know, telling you how to do it, giving you a strategy as to how to go about accomplishing the goal, but you have to show up for that coaching, right? So updates on trade references and approvals, you'll get that whenever it comes about. It doesn't happen weekly. Sometimes we're waiting on trade references to confirm. And sometimes the companies take forever and we have to keep calling, and you may not hear from us 1 week because we're busy calling and trying to make sure that these references are connecting. But you will have your weekly coaching call from one of our team members, okay? That coaching call may be to get your trade references filled out. That coaching call may be to, you know, just to get the details of whatever it is that you need to, you know, take care of in order for us to establish your business credit profile. Follow up on tasks completed, we'll do that. We confirm accounts. We also are on your business credit report as a confirmed account. We make sure that we're the first ones to confirm so that we can, you know, quickly get you established. And strategy implementation, we give you the strategy to implement what we are suggesting. Now, if you go outside of what we suggest, and, you know, sometimes it works, sometimes it don't, you know, that's just the chance you take. However, we do have a strategy implementation in place, and we have in-house attorneys that we get advice from. So when we're talking about structure, we've already gotten that advice. We're not just thinking this stuff up in our heads and all this kind of stuff. So we have staff attorneys that we confirm with. All right, grant writing program includes an 8-week self-paced training. Now we have 8 and 12 week for grant writing because our focus also is board development. Because as you know, for nonprofits, you don't own the entity. The board of directors own the entity. So it's important for us to get the board of directors on track as far as funding the organization. That's their job, to fund the organization. It's not the founders only, you know, job. It's not only the founder's job, rather, but it's the board. So our goal is to galvanize the board to make sure that they understand what their position requirements are. And then we teach them grant writing. We teach them persuasive writing. We teach them board development. We teach them Robert's Rules of Order. You know, we teach them a lot of things that has to do with properly structuring the board to perpetually fund the organization. Complete funding agenda with a minimum of 3 grants submitted. Once a nonprofit finishes our program, they will have a minimum of 3 grants written and submitted by the end of their program, okay? And then, of course, like I said before, they have 12 months to go back and reference material as they, you know, as they're growing their business. So it's actually a license that they actually have for this program. Grant writing training modules, like I mentioned a little bit just now, we have board development, corporate structure and board development, program development, grant research. Grant research is a very healthy task. Most people do not want to do grant research, but because they want us to tell them where the grants are. Like, no, we're not going to do that. We're here to teach. We're not here to do the work for you. We will do it with you, but we will not do it for you. So, going back to that educational platform, your teacher didn't do your work for you, hopefully. Hopefully, they did it with you and taught you and gave you some open-ended questions to see if you understood what you were doing and how to do it. So proposal writing, persuasive writing, like I mentioned before, we teach that, as well as social media grant criteria. There are some grants that we submitted last year for a number of, no, that wasn't last, that was this year. Well, it was last year and this year. Last year, there was some grants that Cricket Wireless, I never would have thought that they would have had a grant like this. They had $25,000 grant for nonprofits, but you had to have an active social media profile. That was a hang up for a lot of people. They did not have active social media profiles. But anyway, so social media, we make sure that you have that in place. And then grant submissions, we make sure that you understand how to submit a grant, and then how to make sure that you're submitting a particular grant in the right way. Every foundation or entity has its own process of how to submit. It's just based up to you to read the guidelines and make sure you're doing it properly, and we make sure you do that. All right. Consulting packages for the business credit program. Our program is $34.50. This includes everything that I showed you, plus some other things. This includes everything. There is no additional fee to access our system inside the 12 months that you have access to the information. We do not pay for any fees outside of our consulting. For example, if you have to file your corporation, we do not pay the state fees for that. If you have to make a purchase to your vendor, we do not pay fees for that. The $34.50 is for our coaching, our training, as well as the payment to Dun & Brad to establish your business credit portfolio. Okay, because we have to pay them to do that, and that's the only thing outside entity that we do pay. So I just want to let you know that. So if you don't already have your entity, make sure that you get it, or just understand that that's a separate fee. All right, 4 to 6 months is the timeline that it takes to complete your business credit profile up to a tier 4, 5-ish. Yeah, tier 4 or 5-ish. Every client is different. We may get it at tier 2 in a week. Every client is different. It's just like every child you have is not going to learn at the same pace. Every client we get is not going to establish their business credit at the same pace. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate that. All right. Consulting packages for the grant writing program. The grant writing program is $3,500. It's an 8 to 12 week program, self-paced again. Also, again, you do have 12 months access to all of the information that's in the system. So if you and if your board of directors change over the time, you still have access to all the information for 12 months. Now, the coaching, the one-on-one coaching, you may have expired that part, but you can also bring on new users to your site, to your self-paced site, if you do get additional board members or even partners with your business. All right, so we do give you that 12 months access. Home-based business legal plan, like I mentioned before, we make sure that you have legal access to a law firm to make sure that you ask those legal questions, those structuring questions. And also, we know a lot as far as, business structuring, but I always tell people, call your attorney and double check. I want you to double check to make sure, because I'm not an attorney, but, we get advice from attorneys, but I want you to start practicing getting advice from your attorney as well, right? So we always encourage you to do that. No matter what we say and what we suggest, call your attorney and ask them as well. We will work with you to ensure your business credit profile structure is properly organized to obtain funding for your nonprofit. A minimum, like I mentioned, of 3 grants submitted during the program. Obtain lines of credit with vendors who report to Dun & Bradstreet and Experian. Business credit strategy to build a portfolio up to $1 million. Now, we will give you a strategy to build a portfolio up to $1 million. You can stop at 50,000 if you want to. That's up to you. So, like I said, it's up to you. What you're getting, whether it's for nonprofit grant writing, also for the business credit, we will give you a strategy. Now, the difference here with the grant writing, we don't do what we do on the business credit side, but we give you a strategy. Okay, we give you the strategy on paper. It's up to you to implement the strategy. It does cost to implement the strategy, but it's up to you, all right? And you also get list of foundations and other grants related to your cause. And then, like I mentioned, board development to ensure continued funding. Now, do we have any questions? Any questions? We're finally at the end. I definitely appreciate all of you who have weathered the storm through this process. I hope that so far we've given you information that you had to write down, you had to screenshot, or you had to do something to get, to retain that information. So right now I want to take any questions that you may have in regards to, anything that I've shared or anything about your business. All right. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Michael. Thank you. I appreciate you as well. All right, no questions. Going once, going twice. All right, I'm going to keep going. If I see a chat, if I see a question pop up, I will address it before we end, okay? Because you may still be typing. All right. So to contact us, if you've never been to our website before, go to www.jonescorporatesolutions.net. We have a team of individuals. Some of our team members are on the line with us today. We have a team who will support you, who will answer your questions, who will get you in touch with the right people, and make sure that you understand how to establish your business credit, how to grow your business, how to access contracts and grants, and more importantly, how to do business with the cities that you're in, right? Because the first thing that we do is set you up with a vendor number for your city. That's the first thing we do. And we do that without you even asking us to do that. That's just a part of the business credit program, right? So this is our website. When you go to our website, click on Client Portal. If you want to schedule a call or anything like that, once you click that Client Portal, that image to the right is what you will see in the blue. And you can click that button, Schedule Now, and then you can schedule an appointment. And then you can also choose the person. So if your contact was not me, if it was one of our other team members, then you can choose that person and set up a call with them as well. All right. And here's the screenshot up close. Action steps, schedule an appointment. Now, I would like for you to share your email so that I can send you a survey. I would love to have your feedback. I would love to have your feedback because we want to make sure that we're giving information that's credible, giving information that's valuable, and giving information that's appropriate for the title that we put out there when we advertise this particular event. Awesome, awesome. Thank you. Okay, anybody else with an email who I don't have already? Gotcha, Michael. All right. Thank you, Veronica. Thank you, VMP Enterprise of Tampa. All right. Anyone else? Any other emails? Vicky? Okay. Also, in our system, we send out different testimonials from clients, as well as other information that we may not have shared here. We send out those announcements on a on a weekly basis most times. So you'll not only be able to get information about this particular topic, but also information that you can use in relation to advancing your goals, your strategy. All right. So I'm looking forward to hearing your feedback. I'm glad to have you. Oh, I'm glad to have you on my team, Mr. Yeager. I am glad. Yes, we are going to grow together. And I'm just very excited as to what you're doing right now, where you're going. Michael Yeager is a client. He's a new client, and I'm so excited about where, his future, where he's going. And I'm even more so excited because his area of expertise is kind of in, our area, that education market as far as the platform, but he is a phenomenal therapist, and I'm just looking forward to working with you as well. Thank you so much for that. You're so kind. So with that being said, I'm going to send you out a review. I definitely want you to, give that feedback. If you could give it today, that would be great, because I'm going to send it within the next 5 minutes after we get off. And thank you so much for showing up and being interactive and engaged. And I appreciate all of you. And let me know if you would like to see more of a certain topic. Okay, let me know that, because I would definitely put it together and make it happen. So you have a phenomenal Sunday, and I look forward to seeing you again.